Right. Are you ready?
I was ready. Ah, that really...
Hello everybody, it's Mike here from Beardy'S Music School, and I am here with the absolutely awesome and ridiculously talented Mr. Ashton McKinlay. How are you, sir?
Oh, I'm wonderful. How are you?
I'm not bad, thank you very much.
Good, good.
So, we had a little look earlier at some old footage, didn't we?
And, yes, we did.
And it was amazing. From Ashton's first ever drum lesson, and we're going to come to that in a little while. But you have been under my tutorial gaze for...
2.5 years?
It's about that, isn't it?
Yeah, June of 2022, I think.
Seems such a long time ago
It
now,
does,
isn't it?
yeah.
So, we have a series of questions for you, because in a very short space of time, you have gone on to do rather a lot of things, which is what I like to hear and see.
Well, thank you very much.
So, first question. What made you take up drumming?
Well,
or take an interest in drumming?
it was, as from like a kid, it's been, our family is very, very musical. We've always loved music. It's always playing. It's just very, no musicians, but everyone just loves music. So one day my mum was like, Ashton, would you ever want to learn an instrument? I was like, give me a few days to think about it. So I think a week or two came about, and she was like, oh, put any more thought into it? I was like, you know what, I wouldn't mind. At first, I said the guitar, and then she was like, right, well, we'll let you sit with it, because I'm a very indecisive person. It's 1 minute I want to do this, next minute I want to do this, and then it's just...
You've got lots of ideas.
Yeah, overwhelming amount of hobbies. And so she's like, well, let that sit, and then we'll make a final decision. So I was like, it came around, I was like, you know what, I want to do drums. And she was like, well, that's perfect, because Ellie, my stepmom, mutual friend as well, has a friend, Mike, that is a drum teacher. So we can set you up with a lesson and then see how it goes. So I was like, yeah, sounds good. So came in one Monday after school, and then had an hour lesson. I was like, yeah, I'm hooked. From that moment on, I was like, I want to be a drummer. That is what I want to do. That is who I want to be. Drums are my thing.
Shall we show a clip?
Oh, go on then. It's an interesting one, but let's show.
It's amazing. So this was from Ashton's first ever lesson. Good.
And then
Tap.
Then
Together. Tap. So...
That was interesting,
wasn't it? Just look how tiny you
I look so much younger.
A lot can happen in a couple of years.
A lot can happen in a couple of years. A lot of hair growth.
Definitely.
An unbelievable amount of hair growth.
Some serious curliness has crept in your later teen years.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really, really interesting. So watching yourself, sort of how you were playing back then compared to kind of what you can do now. And we're going to come to some clips of Ashton playing in a minute and his new band and everything. It's quite a jump.
I look so rigid. But now I just look at that and think, it's just so unbelievable. It's like, I couldn't imagine feeling like that behind a kit now. It literally feels like second nature.
Does it feel like you're looking at yourself, or does it seem like a whole different person?
It seems like a different person, like complete, not even close.
Yeah.
It's like, because ask anyone like about me, like anyone that knows me, they'd be like, what's Ashton's thing? And they'd be like, drums.
Yeah.
And I couldn't imagine like being that new to something that I love so much.
Is it hard to imagine not playing drums?
I couldn't imagine myself not being a musician, not being in a band, not playing. I just couldn't imagine it full stop, because it's so who I am, and I get to do it with the best people in the world, and I've met so many people through it already, and I've only been doing it for 2.5 years.
Well, that's going to bring us on to, we've got that question coming up actually. So my second question is, what are would you say your kind of musical influences, your drum influences? Who do you go to for inspiration?
Well, it's massively varied through the time that I've been playing, because I've been brought up very much as a Queen fan. It was Like, my granddad has raised me on Queen and Pink Floyd.
There's no better way to start your life.
Exactly. And then, so it was like, oh, the only drummer I knew existed was Roger Taylor. So it was like, I started playing drums. It was like, how did Roger Taylor do it? Let me watch some videos of Roger Taylor. And then as I started playing more and more drums, my musical taste started to expand. And I was like, oh, there's this guy. He used to play in a band called Nirvana. I think his name's Dave something. And then led to my discovery of Dave Grohl. And then I was like, wow, he is like an absolute unit on the drums.
He is amazing. And he's a really good segue for people who are just beginning to play, because even though his stuff isn't super complicated, it's incredibly tight.
Yeah.
And technically, it's that he has the perfect balance of power and control.
100%. I feel like Nirvana songs, full stop, like, by no means do I count myself as a guitarist. If anything, I'm very far from it. But Nirvana songs, you can learn to play fairly simply on all instruments they're played on.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, so Dave Grohl was a massive, massive influence of mine. And then through Dave Grohl, I learned about the Foo Fighters. And then Taylor Hawkins. And then I was like, all right, he's an amazing drummer as well. And for a very long time, it was just Taylor Hawkins and Dave Grohl. And that was like the only people I really associated with the drums. It was just like, just watch them playing. But as time's come along, I've found like influencers that are like drum influencers on Instagram. And then Danny Carey, as of recently.
Of Tool.
He's an absolute beast.
He's a one of a kind.
Really, I've never seen anyone look so rigid when he's playing, but sound so fluid.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
He's a complete contradiction when you look at him and hear him.
And his understanding of just rhythm and time is just like, I can't even fathom it. It's just,
like being when you meet someone who can speak 5 languages.
Exactly.
And you're just like, where do you find the time?
He's bilingual, but instrumentally.
Yeah.
Like, it's just,
every limb
ridiculous.
he has is bilingual.
Yeah. Yeah, it's literally each limb has its own brain.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Nuts.
But one of your massive influences, and again, another colossus of a drummer, is Chad Smith.
Chad Smith, oh my God. Red Hot Chili Peppers, full stop. Once again, anyone that knows me, I love the Red Hot Chili Peppers. They are my favourite. And Chad Smith is just, his understanding of music is unreal.
Yeah.
But I think that is stemmed from he has been playing for a very long time. Like the Chili Peppers have been around for so long.
Yeah.
Like, no one realises, they think, oh, Californication, by the way. No, it stretches so much before that. Like so much before that. But he just plays so many different types of music and listens to so many different types. It's like, he's an amazing drummer, but in a session like that video on YouTube that's gone mega famous.
Yeah, it was Drumeo, isn't it? Where they get a drummer in to play to a track that they've never heard before.
Yeah.
And normally the drummer would play a couple of times, maybe run through, kind of work out what they would do. Chad, being a complete
just
Chad.
Done it first listen, just went, absolutely tanked it.
I think it goes something like this, and just did this performance that was just so musical, so incredible, like he'd just been playing this song forever.
And that's something I really aspire to be able to do, is just know where music's going and just having such an understanding of it that you can get chucked in the deep end and be comfortable, like know where a song's going and just understanding music as a whole, not even just from a drummer's perspective.
Well, that ties in really nicely. Well done. Good segue, sir, without even realising, into our third question, which is kind of what has drumming done for you? What sort of, from a personal point of view, from opening doors? Because as you say, playing with all different people.
Yeah. It's literally opened up a new world, like a complete new world. Think, I've met you, I've met so many people locally in the music industry, and met so in my band, I'll introduce them. There's Reed, Harry, Will and me.
Hi guys.
And me and Harry have like been friends forever and ever and ever. And we met Reed and Will, and it was through our love of music and like being musicians ourselves that helped us build our band. So if it wasn't for that, like we wouldn't be where we was, and if we didn't open up them doors which we was led to by our instrument, we wouldn't have got into the situation we were in.
Exactly. Basically, when I one of the great things about watching you flourish and blossom as a player is it really reminds me of how I was when I started playing, because through drums I'd only been playing. I mean, you got into a band pretty quick, didn't you?
I don't think I'd been playing any longer than a month.
Yeah.
It was the combination of meeting new people and a little white lie. He was like, "You play drums?" I was like, yeah. He was like, "Are you any good?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm sick." And he was like, "Come on, let's start a band then." And then we started a band, and I was just trying to massively overcompensate.
It's one of the... And that's exactly what happened with me. I was playing probably about 3 weeks to a month, happened to bump into someone at a music shop. They needed a drummer. And like you, it just opened all these doors to new people, new experiences. And there's something you can't replicate, is there, when it comes to being on the stage with a group of musicians, having that magic. And
it's the best feeling ever. Being on stage with everyone, like, when they've got the lights up in the air, and like if they're singing your lyrics back as well, that's a whole nother thing in itself. But being on stage is unmatched. There's nothing quite like it at all.
Another good segue. How about a video?
That sounds perfect.
Excellent. Well done, lad. Right, let's hope we press the right one. Let's try... So we've got a couple of clips of Ashton. So you've seen, obviously, Ashton on day one. And now we've got Ashton more recently. So what gig was this from?
This was at our second Hotbox gig in Hotboxes in Chelmsford, venue in Chelmsford. And it was, we were supported by the Ooh La Las.
The Ooh La Las.
Shout out to them. But yeah, this was our fourth gig. It was a very spur of the moment thing. It was, we got asked to do it, and then we was like, yeah, sure. Tickets didn't go on sale till the Tuesday, and the gig was on Friday.
Oh, wow.
So it was like, sell a bunch of tickets super quick. Luckily, we sold out that venue.
Well done.
A matter of days, and it was one of the best, if not the best gigs we've ever done. It was unbelievable.
Let's have a little look. Let's see if I press the right one. That's the one I wanted. Excellent. So this is all original material, all your own drum parts.
Yeah, all original.
As seeing the crowd just brings back so many memories of when I was your age.
Best.
And there you are, giving it some welly like a good one.
Yeah.
That is so Dave Grohl power. That is full on not letting up.
I was so dead by the end of this show.
But that feeling when you're really going for it, that adrenaline and the kick you get.
I was just in the zone.
Yeah. Just the difference between day one and now.
Oh, it's nuts. I couldn't imagine myself being there though on day one.
And it's only been, so we'll pause that for now. So when did you play your first gig? How long had you been playing, do you think?
So I joined my first band, which is a metal band, weirdly enough, because obviously that was not metal. So it was I was in that band for, I'd like to say, 6 months solidly in the band, and then it all went a bit peak-tong. Like,
as bands do. Not
by choice. It was like we were really trying hard to like keep it afloat, but it just couldn't. There was too much happened in the band because they were all adults. Like I was 15 at the time, and they were like in their 20s.
Yeah.
So it was like adult life is what it is. Teenage life is what it is. I had school. They had being
jobs.
Grown up.
Yeah.
So it just didn't work, and then me and Harry started a band with 2 completely random members that aren't anything to do with us anymore. And then was like, right, this is fun. Me and you work well. Like this could be something. And then we met Reed, and he was having some problems with his band. So he was like, right, let's just start afresh. Me, Harry, and Reed. And it was going well. We hadn't written any originals by this point, but it was just covers. And then Harry met Will at college because they were on the same course. And then they bonded over a mutual local band called Allison. Shout out to them as well. Yeah, and then he was like, do you want to be the singer in our band? Like, and rhythm guitarist was like, yeah. And then first session in the rehearsal room, Manor Street Studios.
Mm-hmm. Rob Jones,
yeah,
isn't it?
Rob Jones, great studio.
Hi, Rob.
Yeah, and we wrote original music, and I think 6 months into being a band, it might not have even been 6 months. So we got together, 5 months into being a band, and we played our first gig, and they just came in quite quickly after that.
And how long had you been playing before you got into... From when you first started to when you did your first gig, what would you say time-wise?
So we done our first gig in February of last year. So a year and a bit.
So it's not bad going, is it?
No, I think the fact that I chucked myself into a band like aspect so quickly, it was like, right, you've got to pick up the pace, because if you don't, you'll slow everyone else down.
Yeah.
And it was, if you slow everyone else down, you end up having to be replaced. It's how it sounds cruel.
No, but it's true.
But it's
one
true.
of those things that I remember when I luckily joined a band with someone else who was a drummer. So he taught me a lot right in the early days. And again, that made me they'd been playing a while, I had to up my game and try and get better as quick as I could. But really, from your first lesson to when you actually started playing with other musicians was not really long at all when you think about it, was it?
No, not at all. It was... But it just felt normal. Like, the fact, if you're playing an instrument, in my mind, it was, if you're playing an instrument, it should be with other people. Like, I couldn't just imagine, like, I would never go into, like, practice by myself and it just be drums. I'd always have it be to a song or to music.
Yeah.
It just felt so foreign to me to play just drums, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I completely get that.
So it made sense to join a band, because that was how I'd improve, by playing with other musicians.
Yeah, absolutely. As I say, the feeling of playing with other musicians, bouncing off each other, the camaraderie, everything that goes with it is one of the amazing aspects of learning an instrument.
100%.
Even though playing the instrument itself is fun and setting yourself challenges and being, I want to learn this, I want to learn this, oh my God, this drum is amazing, I want to play this. That all comes into the boiling pot. But without that sort of idea of getting out there and doing something with it, you sort of feel, why would I be doing this?
And it's the fact that being in a band can be the best time you'll ever have, but it can also be the worst. If you get in a band with people you adore, have an amazing time with outside of a musical aspect, it will just feel right. It won't feel forced. Like when you're writing songs, they'll just come along. It won't feel forced. You'll just have a good time all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're in a band with people you don't get on with so well, which came quite apparent when I got into my first band, it was like, it was the bass player we had problems with. He wasn't the person we thought he was.
Yeah.
And it was like, this isn't great. And then we had to change the academic of it. And then it become much more like a good time, and we always had a laugh. And that's when productivity went up.
It's one of the, when you hear stories of bands getting together and all the trials and tribulations they have, it's, even if it's bands back in the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, all those classic bands, it all sounds exactly like your story.
Yeah.
And that's generally how it works, and it all progresses from there. But so where do you see? So this is we're going to show one more clip in a minute of your band because we're going to do a bit of self-promotion for you.
Yay.
So yeah, loads of shout-outs and various things. Where do you want to take it? Now, as I said before, people can play in bands. Everyone's going to have a different reason for learning an instrument. Some people want to just play for themselves and play at home, and that's absolutely fine. There's no rules to say what you should and shouldn't do. But what is your trajectory? What do you want to do?
Well, obviously, like, the dream is to be the next big thing, like tour and get your name out there and like people to enjoy our music, because that would just be amazing. But if all of that fails, I just enjoy getting in a room with my best friends and making music together, and we all have a good time doing it. Like that. As soon as I started like being in a band, I was like, that is my goal. As long as I've got that, I don't care what else happens. It's like whatever else happens is just a bonus.
Because you're going to music college, aren't you? Or
I do. I do
at
music performance at college.
And you want to go to uni from that?
I've been thinking about it. It's definitely a thought there, but it's not as easy as just I want to go to uni. There's a lot to think about it, and there's a lot of planning and all exciting stuff. But yeah, I'd love to tour with the band and spend my life playing gigs, doing all that. But if that doesn't happen, I just want to be playing music with them guys, or just full stop playing. Like, I would love to be a session musician as well. That would be a big target of mine. But it's just getting into those situations are really hard. It's just got to be right place, right time, who you know, what you know, sort of thing. Like, it's just, that's the dream, but getting there is the hard part.
Very true. Okay, so shout out time. Tell us about all your bands, all your social medias, all your various things, if you can remember them.
So my band's name is Randall Band, Randall. And
links will be provided below in the
links
video.
Will be provided. On Instagram, we're Randall Band page. We've got our debut EP out on Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Music, and Deezer. Deezer, yeah. So listen to that if you've got a spare minute. If not, no worries. It'd be appreciated, but if not, no worries. My Instagram is ashton.mckinlay, so feel free to give that a follow.
And that's with an AY.
That's with an AY at the end, not
Rather
an EY.
Rather than me, who's been getting it wrong for the past 2.5 years.
Oh, it's everyone gets it wrong. I got called at Starbucks the other day. I got ASHTLEY.
Okay.
Yeah. That I spelt my name out to him, and he still spelt it wrong, which has just fathomed my brain a little bit.
At Starbucks, they do it on purpose.
Yeah, I'm convinced they do, because they even shouted out. They went, Ashton. I was like,
guys, come on. Right. So, dude, it's been a pleasure. We're going to play out with one more video. So I just want to say on a personal note, I'm very proud of you.
Thank you very much.
You are absolutely awesome. Not only a lovely, lovely chap, but you're kind of one of the students who has just really embraced it and gone down the rabbit hole and made it part of their own life.
Yeah.
Which, it doesn't get any better than that. So, well done, sir.
Thank you very much.
Good work. Right, let's watch the last clip. So thank you for joining us for the student profile. So this is Ashton McKinlay. Check out all of his links and everything below. And we're going to watch, hopefully again, I pressed the right button this time. Here we go.
There we go.
That's cool.
This is called Leave the World Behind. It's the title EP.
Oh.
On our
It's only a short video.
On our Spotify. It is. I've got so many. It's just like, we do a gig and it's just bam, 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 bam. 1,000,001 people have sent you the same video. It's like, oh, I've got to filter through all of this.
Slightly different angles.
Yeah, exactly that. It's like, oh, I've heard this song 70 times in the last 20 minutes.
Well, good luck to you, dude.
Thank you very much.
obviously keep us all posted how you're getting on and everything. I will see you for our next lesson.
Yep.
And thank you everyone for watching, and check out everything that Ashton is involved with. So
Thank you very much for having me.
pleasure. Take care everyone. See you next time.